It is players only. Welcome. We have a good game tonight, and you know, over in Studio J, we got our man Steve Smith, Greg Anthony. We got our girl over there. We got a new member. Well, we introduced Miss Parker last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you know, we should introduce her every week.
Because she got game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? She was an MVP and Rookie of the Year.
She shook Smitty the way.
That's right.
Did she give him
and
heel.
Well, that's how Greg hurt his ankle. He was shooting in heels. No, I was messing with you, Greg. And we got 3D out there in Minnesota. And joining me, you know, I got Isiah Thomas. You know, he's the man, two-time back-to-back champion. And, of course, we got the great Kevin McHale. He's done everything. 6 Man of the Year, 1 championship, built teams, all that good stuff.
And
Google him.
Reminded me, we didn't beat them until he got old.
Yeah. You got to get it any way you can sometimes.
Y'all didn't win it until we got old.
You know what I mean? You got to get it in. But welcome. It's a 9-game night. Got a lot of exciting games. But our first game our game tonight, our marquee game, is the game of the night. And that is the Lakers, 2-4 Lakers at the 2-4 Minnesota Timberwolves. And, fellas, so much has been made. Let's start about Minnesota. From my opinion, first of all, I just don't know. With having to be a locker room guy, I was that guy had to, talk to guys, encourage them, beat up guys, have fun, whatever we have to do. But I don't understand how you can have a guy in your locker room that maybe the team doesn't feel. I don't know. I'm not in the Minnesota locker room, but just reading these stats, all guys' productions are down. Wiggins, his production is down. Butler, his production is down. Karl Anthony Towns' production is down. When you look at that situation, K-Mac, is there a solution? Because even if you make the playoffs, it seems like you're never going to get on the same page.
You know, Webb, all I hear coming out of Minnesota is me. I hear no we. So everything is me. And it's me, mine. And when you're winning, it's we. Mm-hmm. And the only time you say me is when you have a little hard period and you're one of the top players, you just got to look at fellas, follow me. I'm going to go out there. Hey, but you got to bring your game. But look, I'm bringing my game. There's no we in that team right now. They look completely lost right now. It's just, Butler didn't go through training camp, comes in at the end, has a practice where he's, cursing up a storm and doing all this stuff. Calls a players only meeting the next day after he hasn't been there. And then he starts in the first game and stuff. And I have no problem with Jimmy Butler trying to get paid and I have no problem with that. It's how you go about it. And to me, until this league is too hard when it's all me and no we. It's hard enough when it's all we and we're all joined at the hip. They're not together, and they've got to find a way to get this thing together.
Isiah, you've led teams before, and let me take my father for an example. 4 boys in the family. Even though I was the oldest or whatever, if he let me do something and the other boys couldn't do it, we're going to lose respect for you.
Yeah.
Is it that type of situation where, not that Butler's doing the wrong thing, right thing, whatever he's doing, but because he is disgruntled, because he gets to say whatever he wants, I'm worried that creates a culture of losing, a culture of everybody being upset, of misery loves company. Do you think that can bleed in? Is that there, or how do you stop it? What do you do?
Well, I think from a coaching standpoint and from a management standpoint that there's got to be some standards that are set. This is the way we do things. This is how we play. This is how we're going to conduct ourselves, right? You got to be on time. You got to come to practice. This is how we're going to play. And when those standards aren't met, there's a deterioration in the culture. And right now, my concern is not for Wiggins or for Towns. My concern is for the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th man on that team, or those rookies who are watching this happen. Okay, guys who are in college who are watching this play out, for the Timberwolves. I mean, what type of example is you setting now for the culture of your team from a management and a coaching standpoint? They say one apple, shouldn't spoil the whole bunch, but this is an apple right now that definitely will have some ripple effects.
Yeah, and when we talk about that ripple effect in any team, no one makes a bigger ripple. It doesn't trickle down from anybody more than it does LeBron, the positive play. And tonight, we're going to see these guys play. And there's a lot of questions with this team. One, would you start a guy like a Kuzma? I'm just going to throw a bunch of things out and take whatever you want. Number 2, is Brandon Ingram ready to be that player? I've heard so much trade Brandon Ingram. Is that just because he's missed the 4 games? And Isiah, I know we're going to talk a little point guards later, so we'll keep it out the point guards. But now that you've seen how they played without the shooting, actually Ball is their best 3-point shooter at 41%. Do you like the way they're playing in the paint? What do you see with this situation after 2 weeks just evaluated?
I think they're still trying to figure it out. And they're still trying to figure out who can shoot the basketball and who can play with LeBron James. Because he's such a unique player that you have to build a team around him. And when you're talking about building a team around LeBron James as a unique player, you got to find unique talent. And I'll just go back to, we was having a conversation about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Well, Phil Jackson, and what they did with the triangle, right? They built a team around Jordan. You didn't have your typical, point guard. You had to have a point guard that can shoot the basketball.
Space the floor, not dribble.
A la, Craig Hodges, Paxson, B.J. Armstrong. So with LeBron James, you got to build a different kind of team, and I think the Lakers are trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I like Ingram. To me, Kuzma needs to play more minutes than Ingram, whether he starts or coming off the bench. I don't know. But he's got to play more minutes than him because he gives him that ability to shoot it. Passing is contagious, and when you play with LeBron James, you're going to find he's going to make passes, he's going to do things, and Ball is a pass-first player too. So you got two guys out there very creative, passing the ball. You can see guys cutting and moving. You can see that's why I think Ingram can really do a much better job. Don't wait for the ball and go one-on-one, cut and move. I see Kuzma cutting. I see those guys cutting. Hey, JaVale McGee is putting up some numbers because he's running
for his teammates.
Exactly, because he's sprinting the floor and unbelievably they're throwing it to him.
Yeah.
And he's finishing. So passing is such a contagious thing that you get LeBron, you get Ball. I like that combination.
Yeah,
and I said this when Ball had that funky shot at UCLA. As long as it goes in, you don't get style points. He's shooting the ball well enough. Kuzma's shooting the ball well enough. They got to find other shooters go around there. But I like what I'm seeing. That 0-4 start had me like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden Rondo doesn't start. They put Ball in. I think things started happening a little bit. So I just still believe that when you have LeBron James, you're going to make the playoffs. It's just kind of where you're going to be seated.
Yeah, and I love how hard this team plays. I see that they understand they don't have the shooting.
Yeah.
They got to get in the points and they have to run every night. But let's check out more on my man 3D, who has an update out in Minnesota. What's going on, 3D? What's the vibe out there?
Well, the vibe is good. In K-Mac, it's not cold yet, so I was able to get my walk in around the city. The city's doing great. Now, hot off the press, no Andrew Wiggins tonight. He did come out. He tried to warm up, got some shots up, went back in. The leg is not quite right yet, so no Andrew Wiggins in tonight's ball game. Hot off the press.
3D, how do you think no Wiggins is going to affect them in the locker room? Honestly, we talked about chemistry. Is that a problem? Do you expect them to play better without Wiggins going up against the Lakers? Everybody plays harder. How do you think that's going to affect the locker room tonight, no Wiggins?
Well, it's going to affect the locker room and the court, C-Web, because we know athletically Wiggins can get out there and get up and down the floor with the fast-paced Lakers. So not having them on the floor, they haven't played well the last couple ball games, so they need to get off to a great start. So that being said, I'm going to look for Derrick Rose and other guys to try to step up to help this team get off to a fast start tonight.
Thanks, 3D. We're looking forward to the piece you did on Derrick Rose a little bit later. And Zeke, before we're going to tell the people about where to find us on social media, but you wanted to tell 3D.
Oh, yeah, 3D, can you stop by J.D. Hoyt's and get some of that Sherlon champagne, baby?
that award-winning champagne.
Come on, baby. I'm going to tell them players only, baby, and Isaiah sent me.
And you'll get it for free.
There it is.
Only you, 3D. It ain't for everybody who's for
Don't
free.
bring the whole crew.
So don't bring all the players, just come by myself.
Any other places, K-Mac, that's your stumping ground.
I tell you what, no, get the pork chop at J.D. Hoyt's.
There it is.
It's good.
There it is.
It's good.
Done deal.
Thanks a lot, 3D. And for you out there, you can check us out on social media. You can hit me up at Real Chris Webber. If you want to know more about the award-winning